Hi, my dear friends. Welcome back to another class of SQL. In this class, we are going to see how certain operations, like if you have duplicate records in your tables, then how can you delete them? Okay, so let us first activate our main database, that is this class 2 in line number 1, which we have been using for the last classes. So select this, use class 2, and hit the execute button. It means that commands completed successfully means that my database is ready to be used. Now come down. In the last class, we discussed all these things. There is subquery and all. Even we discussed how to do insertion, then delete, update operations via subquery and all. Now, if you focus on line number 79, here I have used this with my underscore CTE. Uh, Regarding this, we have discussed previously also in our previous classes that how common table expression, this CTE stands for common table expression. Any name you can give here, like I have given the name my underscore CTE. Okay, you can give any name here. And how CTE works, that we have seen previously. If you're not familiar with it, then you can check out the video you can check out our playlist. And with my underscore CTE is for common table expression. It's a temporary table, uh, and here we begin it with the opening bracket, and then we can close it. We can basically give a closing bracket to here. So here you have your opening bracket, here you have your closing bracket, and between these brackets, we normally give our query that lies within the CTE, and ultimately the output we will get in a temporary table. And regarding this query also, we have discussed this query many times in our previous videos also, where we are performing the inner join operations so as to display records from multiple tables, like select e.eid, name, city, phone. These name, city, phone will come from the emp2 underscore 2 table, and alongside you will have also the EIDs displayed. Okay, and since inner join operation we are performing here, so common EIDs between the two tables will be only displayed. And after phone we have department designation salary, those values will also be displayed. And after which we have these, if you remember, the calculated fields like salary into 0.11 as EA1. So EA1 will be your one calculated field. Then next, another calculated field is this EA2, which is nothing but your salary into 0.17. And here we have to give our left table EMP2 underscore 2. And for this operation, we can rename it as E. And then in the next line, you have to give inner join command. Then in the next line, you have to give the right table name, which is emp underscore inc. And here you can give the alias name like E I have used here. And then you have to use the on keyword and specify that you're performing this joining operation between the two tables based on which column. That column should be common between the two tables. So it is nothing but the EID column, as we have seen previously, that in case of EMP2 underscore 2, you have the EID column. In case of EMP underscore INC, also you have the EID column. So this is the, like, EID is common between both the tables, that EID column. Okay. So that's why specifying that on E.EID is equals to EI.EID, where E stands for this EMP2 underscore 2, and this EI stands for EMP underscore INC. Okay, so ultimately what will happen? If you remember, only the common EIDs between these two tables will be selected, and these common EIDs have records in both the tables. So accordingly, from EMP2 underscore 2, the common EIDs, they will have name values, city values, phone values. Those will be displayed coming from this table EMP2 underscore 2, and those common EIDs will also have these values displayed, department designation salary, coming from this table EMP underscore INC. And these extra fields will be also there. EA1, which will have the 11% salary values for all the employees individually for each row. And this EA2 will be another calculated field that will consist of 17% of the salary values of the employees, and those will be displayed in each individual row, if you remember this. So altogether, you will have, if you just select this query and hit the execute button, then in the output you can see that there are 79 rows which are being displayed out here. Okay, because there are 79 EID columns. There are 79 EID values which are common between the two tables. Now, why have I included this query within this with my underscore CTE? Why? The main reason is so that I can perform some extra operation. Extra operation is like uh, EA1, this EA1 field, it is not present in either of the tables. This EA2 field, this is also not present in either of the tables. But I want to perform an extra calculation where I want to add the salary plus EA1 plus EA2 and then display the values for all the employees, because for each and every employee I want salary to be added with EA1 to be added further with EA2. So this is an extra operation. So after this bracket of this common table expression ends, in the next line you can give select asterisk comma, then within the parenthesis you can write salary plus EA1 plus EA2, as because ultimately this operation will lead to a column, and under that column you will have the summation of salary along with EA1 along with the EA2. There is salary, EA1 and EA2 will be added and will be displayed for each employee in each row. Okay, and that name of the column we are specifying here as total underscore sal. Then another operation we are doing salary plus EA1. This will also yield another column, and the name of the column I'm choosing as hand underscore sal. Okay, this is like total salary, and this is like in hand salary. This hand underscore sal. Okay, so salary plus EA1 will be computed separately for each employee and will be displayed. So from line 79 to line 84, you'll have to select all of them. From line 79 to 84, you'll have to select all of them, hit the execute button, and you see what we are getting. We are getting everything like these values we are already getting. This value like asterisk comma means what? Asterisk means everything will be displayed. So select asterisk comma salary plus E1 plus EA2 as total salary, comma salary plus EA1 as hand salary from my underscore CTE. Okay, and where is my underscore CTE? Here it is, my underscore CTE common table expression, and inside this common table expression I have kept this query, and this query will result into what? This query will result into these EID values, name values, city values, phone values, department values, designation values, salary values, EA1 values, EA2 values. They will be there in my underscore CTE. Now if I type like this asterisk comma means the finally here whatever columns you will be yielding, those will come at the end, and whatever columns were originally there, like for my underscore CTE, whatever columns were originally there, they will appear at first, and after that you will have these extra columns like this total sal and underscore sal, they will come at the very end. So here asterisk will do what? It will display all the fields from my underscore CTE. All the fields from my underscore CTE means these common EID values, then name values, city values, phone values, department, designation, salary values, then EA1 values, EA2 values. Okay, so that's how it displayed out here. And when I select line 79 to 84 together, then alongside with these fields, that is after EA2, you will also have this total underscore sal field, and beside that you will have this hand underscore sal field. So together you will have to select and execute. From line 79 to 84, select and hit execute. See, EID, then name, city, phone, department, designation, salary, EA1, EA2 are already coming from seat my underscore CT, and then extra these two fields, total underscore sal and hand underscore sal are being displayed. And for this scenario, you cannot simply individually select only line number 84. Okay, if you do this and hit the execute button, you see it will come out to be as an error. So in order to ensure that my underscore CTE is identified by it, my underscore CTE is identified by this line number 84, you will have to select alongside with this declaration of my underscore CTE up to this select line, that is up to line 84, and then you will get your overall result. Okay, now let us create, if you focus in line number 88, let us create this table my underscore duplicates. What are the fields that I'm declaring here? EMP underscore ID, that is employee ID, and data type is char, and the character length is 1. and after that the second field will be emp underscore name, there is employee name, data type is varchar, and length is 40 maximum. Emp underscore age means employee age, and the data type is integer. So create this lines 88 to 89, you select and then hit the execute button. Commands completed successfully. Now insert into this table my underscore duplicates. What are the values? 1 comma John comma 41. So 1 will go to where? This value of 1, it will go to emp underscore id. Then John will go to this emp underscore name, and this 41 will go to this particular field emp underscore age. As they are positioned accordingly, they will go. This we have seen previously. So this is the first row. This is the first row or first record inserted. Now, by mistake, it may happen that this particular record is inserted again in the next row. That means after you give comma, this particular record by mistake has been repeated. So 1 John 41 will appear in the second row. Okay, then give comma. Then in the third row, you will have this particular record, that is where emp underscore id will be your 2, emp underscore name will be Jack, and emp underscore age will be 39. And bracket close. This is the second, this is the third, this is for the third record, for the third row. Then give comma. After that, again say by mistake you have inserted this record only, that is 2 comma Jack comma 39. Okay, so here this is a duplicate record, this second one, that is 1 comma John comma 41, which appeared second time. This entire thing, this entire record or row is a duplicate record or a duplicate row. Similarly, first time I inserted 2 Jack 39, and after that this record got repeated, 2 comma Jack comma 39. So this is your duplicate record, isn't it? Because already see 1 comma John comma 41 exists. After that again 1 comma John comma 41 exists. So this one will be a duplicate record. Same for this 2 comma Jack comma 39 is a unique record, fine. But after that this 2 comma Jack comma 39 will be inserted again. So this one will be a duplicate record. Then after you give comma, here you have record for person Sam, where you have inserted this record 3, which will go to emp underscore id. Sam will go to emp underscore name, and accordingly 31 will go to emp underscore age. So this is another unique record you have inserted, and say by mistake after comma you have inserted this record again. That is 3 comma Sam comma 31 is inserted again. So this becomes a duplicate record. So how many duplicate records we have here? This is one duplicate record. This is another duplicate record, and this is the third duplicate record. Okay. So select lines 91 to 92 and hit the execute button. So your records are inserted into the table. You see 6 rows are affected. Okay. Now scroll down and select from my underscore duplicates. You see, if you hit the execute button, you see in the first row, 1 John 41 is there. In the second row, 1 John 41 is repeated. So it's a duplicate record. In the third row, you have 2 Jack 39. In the fourth row, you again have 2 Jack 39. So this is a duplicate record. Then here in this row, fifth row, you have 3 Sam 31, and in the sixth row, you have 3 Sam and 31 again. So this is also a duplicate record. Okay. Now, now how to analyze it further? Select emp underscore name. Select emp underscore name. So emp underscore name will be displayed, comma count function you're using, count function, and within the brackets you're giving asterisk, means count of all the records. This count of asterisk means everything. So here count function, we know it is an aggregate function, and wherever there is count function, wherever there is an aggregate function like count or sum or max or min or average, there alongside with it you'll have to use the group by clause also. Okay, anyways, so count of asterisks will be displayed alongside with emp underscore name. Emp underscore name will be displayed, and after that count asterisks will be displayed, where count asterisks means count of all the records. And this count of all the records I am basically naming as records. Okay, so emp underscore name column will appear, and after that the second column that will appear will be records, which is nothing but count of all the records. Okay, and then you have to give from which table. So from keyword, and then you have to give the name of the table, which is my underscore duplicates. Okay, then group by emp underscore name. Group by emp underscore name, because you see John is there twice, Jack is there twice, Sam is there twice. So group by will do what? Group by emp underscore name, it will basically group this John, group this Jack, group this Sam. That is, it will group John separately, it will group Jack separately, it will group Sam separately. Okay, so now in case of group by, it will just take John into account, one John into account, take one Jack into account, take one Sam into account. And after that, having count of all the records greater than one. So I'm giving here clause that you have to select, and select means display emp name and count of all the records that will be named as records from this particular table, my underscore duplicates, where I'm grouping by the emp underscore name. So here John will appear once, Jack will appear once, Sam will appear once internally. Having, what is the condition? Having count of all records, that is count of asterisk means count of all records greater than one. So ultimately only those emp underscore name and records will be displayed, only those emp underscore name and records will be displayed where this emp underscore name has got more than one record. Okay, see, John has got how many records? John appears in line row number one, John appears in row number two. Means John has got two records because it appears in two rows. That's why. Okay. Similarly, Jack appears in third row, Jack appears in fourth row. So Jack has got how many records? Two records. Similarly, Sam appears in the fifth row. This Sam again appears in the sixth row. So total, if you take only Sam into account and then you compute that how many records it has got. It has got two records. So here, when John is grouped separately, it has got two records, one and two. When Jack is taken out separately, that is grouped by, then it will have two records, one and two. Then Sam, when taken out separately due to the group by, then ultimately it will have how many records? One and two. Okay. So here for each name, here for each name, like for John, you have more than one record. Here for Jack, you have more than one record. Here for Sam, you have more than one record. So select lines 96 to 98 and hit the execute button. And here you see emp underscore name. Jack appears once, John appears once, Sam appears once. And besides them, you have this records table where you have two besides Jack, two besides John, two besides Sam. Because Jack appeared twice, John appeared twice, Sam appeared twice. So they do have all these three names, they do have count of records greater than one. That's why the output came out like this. Now, if you go to line number 100, select emp underscore id, comma emp underscore name, comma emp underscore age. So those three fields that we created will be displayed, and an additional field will be also displayed. This additional fourth one, what I'm writing here is row underscore number. If you remember, we have discussed this row underscore number function, and that will basically calculate the number of rows. Okay, and row underscore number always, as I stated previously, where you have this row underscore number, alongside with it you'll have to use the over clause, and where there is over clause, there is over function, then you have to use the brackets also, single brackets. Okay, like here it ends, there it begins, and here the bracket ends, and within the brackets, within these brackets, you will have to write whatever condition you want to write. Okay, so this is how you write it within the over function. Okay, row underscore no, row number will be calculated over a particular condition. Okay, so you can say that over is also a function within which you have to write this particular kind of a code. What code I'm writing here within this over function? Now, partition by emp underscore id, comma emp underscore name, comma emp underscore age. What does this partition by clause does? This partition by will consider this emp underscore id, emp underscore name, and emp underscore age as one partition. And why have I written EMP underscore ID, EMP underscore name, and EMP underscore age? Because all of them get repeated. Like for example, if I go to line number 94, hit the execute button, you see in row number one, you have under EMP underscore ID, you have one, John, 41. Then again in second row, the entire thing is repeated. Then same goes for this third row, which is repeated entirely in the fourth row. Then same goes for this fifth row, which is entirely repeated in the sixth row. Okay, so over clause will do what? Over clause will simply, where inside the over clause, it will this partition by, it will simply take this EMP underscore ID, EMP underscore name, and EMP underscore age as one partition, as one partition. Okay. Partition by will work only where there you have common values. Like here, EMP underscore ID has got common values. EMP underscore name has got common values. EMP underscore age also has got common values for first and second row. Similarly, for third and fourth row, it has got common values, common values, common values. Similarly, for fifth and sixth row, there are common values, all these fields. Okay, so that's why the partition by here I've written as EMP underscore ID, comma EMP underscore name, comma EMP underscore age. And you must remember for this over function, whenever you're using the over function alongside with it, you must use this order by clause also. Okay, and this order by in, because without order by, as we have seen previously also, if you use the over function and then within it you have to write the order by, if you do not write it you will get error. That is the syntax of SQL. And order by, then for order by, I'm using here select 0. That is for order by, I'm using this select 0. Select 0 will do random ordering. That is, I won't choose the ordering. Ordering will be decided by the SQL. I know it's sounding right now a little bit confusing. Once you see the output, we'll be able to understand. So your over by, over, it ends here. Over, it ends here. Over was applied for which? Over was applied for this particular function row underscore number. So row underscore number will be calculated. Row underscore number will be calculated for these three fields, where these three fields have common values. Common values means row wise. If you go like 1, 1, then 2, 2, then 3, 3. This is for EMP underscore ID. Simply again for EMP underscore name, you have John, John, Jack, Jack, Sam, Sam. And similarly, if you go for EMP underscore age also 41, 41, 39, 39, 31, 31. So after the over ends, then I'm writing here as row underscore num. So this will be the name displayed. Ultimately, row underscore number function will be also displayed, and that will give you a column. And that column name I am choosing here as row underscore num. And under that column, what will you have? The row numbers. So how will the row numbers appear? You will see. Then again, after that, you will have to write from which table. You'll have to write from which table. So from my underscore duplicates. Okay. Now select lines 100 to 101 and hit the execute button. You see EMP underscore ID is being displayed. One. In the first row you have one, second row you have one. EMP underscore name. In the first row you have John, in the second row you have John. EMP underscore age. Here in the first row you have 41, in the second row you have 41. Okay. And here the row underscore number, you see, in the first row it is 1, in the second row it is 2. Okay. Then if you go to the third row, see EMP underscore ID is 2 in the third row, it is 2 in the fourth row. Same goes for EMP underscore name. It is Jack in the third row, Jack in the fourth row, Jack in the third row, Jack in the fourth row. EMP underscore age, it is 39 in the third row, and also 39 in the fourth row. Here also you see row underscore num is 1 and then 2. That is in the third row it is 1 and in the fourth row it is 2. So have you understood what is happening? Because entirely EMP underscore ID, EMP underscore name, EMP underscore age, it got repeated. The first row values got repeated in the second row. Okay. So the first row in this partition by, it does what? This partition by will basically part, that is group. It is basically form a group. Form a group for all for all those fields which have got repeating values. Okay. Here, all these fields, EMP underscore ID, EMP underscore name, EMP underscore age, have got repeated values for their previous rows. So the first row, it appeared, and this appeared to be unique. And anyways, row underscore num was given as 1 here. Then when you went to the second row, it got repeated here, and the row underscore num is 2. Then when you went to the third row, here again the row underscore num is 1. So that means the first two rows are grouped together. The first two rows are grouped together because emp underscore id, emp underscore name, emp underscore age got repeated in the second row. If suppose 1 John 41 would have been repeated in the third row also, then row underscore num would have been 3 for that, because here you're doing partition over those fields which have got repeated values with respect to their previous rows. Okay, so in that scenario, in third row, if 1 John 41 would have appeared, then row underscore num would have been 3. And ultimately row underscore number will be calculated, and row underscore number has to be calculated over something. So that's how you'll have to write your query here over this particular criteria. Okay, partition by, you have to do partition based on those fields which have got repeating values and club them together. So SQL internally will identify them as, okay, I am partitioning them and putting them separately together. And there I will the SQL will keep a contact on the keep an eye on the repeating values. So 1 John 41 for this row number is 2. Then 2 Jack 39 appear in the third row, so it does not match. This third row does not match with the second row. So here row underscore num becomes 1 again. But in the fourth row, the entire third row appears. So here row underscore num becomes 2. Okay, because here 2 Jack 39 will be a group against which you have row underscore num 1 and you have row underscore num 2, because 2 Jack 39, this group got repeated again in the fourth row. Okay, in the fourth row. Now, when it comes to the fifth row, here you see EMP underscore ID is 3, EMP underscore name is Sam, EMP underscore age is 31, and row underscore num is 1. Why? Because the fifth row is different from the fourth row. Because it sees that this entire row, whether this entire fifth row is a duplicate of the fourth row or not. Is the entire fifth row a duplicate? Is the entire fifth row a duplicate of the fourth row? It is not. It is different. So that's why here row number becomes 1 again for 3 Sam and 31, because 3 Sam 31 are different from 2 Jack and 39. But in the sixth row, this 3 Sam 31 is getting repeated again. And already internally SQL has taken it as a group together. That is EMP underscore ID, EMP underscore name, EMP underscore age, that it will check whether the values for all these three fields get consecutively repeated or not. So yes, in this scenario, it has been repeated. 3 Sam 31 has repeated in the sixth row entirely, and all these fields have been taken up entirely. That is emp underscore id, emp underscore name, emp underscore age. So in this scenario row underscore num becomes 2. Suppose in the seventh row, for example, 3 Sam 31 would have reappeared. Suppose there would have been an additional row like a seventh row, 3 Sam 31 would have appeared there. Then in that scenario, row underscore num would have been 3 for that seventh row. Okay. Now, this entire line 100 to 101, this you copy and paste within this common table expression. Okay, CTE, common table expression, we have discussed it. So with CTE as you write it here, and then for CTE we have to give the opening bracket and the closing bracket. We have to give the opening bracket and the closing bracket, that is here, and within these brackets you paste this entire code, that is select emp underscore id dot 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 from duplicates. So you see, check once, select emp underscore id, name, age, row number over partition by emp underscore id, emp underscore name, emp underscore age, or then order by, select 0 as row underscore num from my duplicates, and this entire thing you're placing within the parenthesis or within the brackets of with cte as. Okay, now we know that with cte as this common table expression and this entire output that we got here, this one along this emp underscore id, emp underscore name, emp underscore age, row underscore num, this entire this entire output that is in the form of a table will now be available inside this common table expression CTE, which is a temporary table. Okay, so now it will have it, this CTE. Under the CTE, you will have this entire output, which is in the form of a table. So we know that in case of with CTE, you just have to select with CTE the entire bracket thing, and after that in the next line you have to give select asterisk from CTE. There is line 104. Wherever there is with CTE as, and you want to see the records from the CTE, then you will have to write select asterisk from CTE, and together this with CTE as dot 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 up to this select as asterisk from CTE you will have to select. Then only the records from CTE will be displayed, because CTE, it will ultimately is a temporary table. Okay, it exists for this session only for this particular thing. So with CTE as only if I select, then it won't work. Like if line number 103, if I select and execute, see error. And suppose in line number 104, if I only select this one, execute, this will give you error. Now together, that's why, because it is a temporary table, CTE. Hence, with respect to its creation, alongside with it, you will also have to use the select asterisk from CTE. That is this creation, the creation of CTE, where it will be having that temporary table output that will be created, but also instantaneously you will have to display the records from it. So for that, for that, select asterisk from CTE, and then hit the execute button. You see the same output we are getting, the same output emp underscore id name, age, row underscore num, which we got previously for lines 100 to 101, that we are getting here also, where it is there now available with in the CTE. Okay. Now, why I did that? Because I want to, delete the duplicate records. I want to delete this second row, because 1 John 41 has already appeared in the first row. So keeping it in the second row entirely won't make any sense. Third row, you have 2 Jack 39. That is fine, unique. It is different from 1 John and 41. But this 2 Jack 39 has reappeared again in row number 4. So this is a duplicate record that needs to be deleted. Then in the fifth row, you have 3 Sam 31. Okay, this is unique, different from 1 John 41, different from 2 Jack 39, but this entirely got repeated in the sixth row. So this sixth row is also a duplicate record. So second row is a duplicate row. Fourth row is a duplicate row. Sixth row is a duplicate row. Okay, so these duplicate rows, wherever you have row underscore num 2, 2, 2, that is for this second row. It needs to be deleted. Fourth row needs to be deleted. Sixth row needs to be deleted. So that's why what to do here, with the help of CTE only, you can delete these duplicate records from your original table. So again, with CTE as, you have to select, and then you have to open the bracket, and then give the closing bracket, and this entire same thing only you have to give that we gave inside the like here only. This entire select statement, emp underscore id, emp underscore name, emp underscore age, row underscore number, over, then partition by emp underscore id, emp underscore name, emp underscore age, order by select zero, as row underscore num, from my underscore duplicates. This entire thing you will have to give again within the first brackets of within the first brackets of the CTE, where CTE is common table expression for temporary table. Now with here only, this line number 103 only, you have to copy and paste here again. Same thing, no difference. With CTE as, and the same thing you'll have to write or copy paste here again in this particular line number. Okay. So common table expression will have these records emp underscore id, emp underscore name, emp underscore age, row underscore num. Then in the next line, line number 107, we can do the delete operation, delete from CTE, because CTE ultimately has these emp underscore id, emp underscore name, emp underscore age, and row underscore num. Row underscore num is there stored in the CTE. Okay, where CTE is a temporary table just for that session only. When I'm using it totally along with select or delete, then only it exists. So there under the CTE common table expression temporary table, you have this row underscore num field. Okay, so delete from CTE, delete from CTE where row underscore num is greater than 1. So wherever row underscore num is greater than 1, that entire row will be deleted. 2 greater than 1, so this entire row will be deleted. Here 2, that means greater than 1, so this entire row will be deleted. Here under row underscore num, again you have this value of 2, which is in there in which row? It is there in the sixth row. So this sixth row will be deleted. Okay. So row underscore num, wherever it is greater than one, for that particular, here it is written delete from CTE where row underscore num is greater than one. So wherever row underscore num is greater than one, we know that if I give the command for delete, then the entire row will be deleted. So here row underscore num is greater than one, so entire row 2 will be deleted. Here row underscore num is greater than one, so entire row 4 will be deleted. Here row underscore num is 2, so the entire row 6 will be deleted. And for CTE to operate perfectly, you have to select everything and then hit the execute button. Everything means not only with CTE as or only you have to select, not only with CTE as and then the query that you give inside the brackets of CTE, not only that you have to select. Then in the next line, the select or delete whatever you have chosen, that also you have to select and then execute. Then only it will operate with respect to CTE. This we have discussed in the previous classes. If not, if you have missed out those classes, you can kindly visit the SQL playlist. So see, I selected lines 106 to 108, hit the execute button, and here out in the output you see three rows affected. Three rows affected. Total how many rows we had? Six rows. Three rows affected means three rows are deleted. Now come to line number 110 and select this, select asterisk from my underscore duplicates, hit the execute button. See, in any row, do you see any duplicate records? That is entirely speaking, entirely combining all these fields, emp underscore id, emp underscore name, emp underscore age, entire row I'm talking about. Is there any duplicacy of entire row? No. In the first row, you have 1 John 41. Is it repeated in the second row? No. Is it repeated in the third row? No. Now in the second row you have 2 Jack 39. Is it repeated anywhere? Nowhere it is there. It is only there once in the second row, just like 1 John 41, which is there only once in the first row. Then come to the third row, 3 Sam 31. It is there only once in the third row. Is it repeated anywhere? It is not there in the second row, not there in the first row. So all those extra records are gone and deleted from this particular table, my underscore duplicates. Here you see, select asterisk from my underscore duplicates I did. Okay. And here the deletion I did with respect to CTE. So now you can understand that why I use the CTE. First of all, with the help of the CTE, I formed an extra field from where I perform the analysis for identifying the common rows, or you can say the common records, and then use this CTE only to delete those common records just from not only CTE but also from the original table. In case of the delete operation, I did not use the name of the original table. So I did not apply the operation directly on my underscore duplicates. I applied the delete operation on CTE, but from there only the operation internally deleted those duplicate records from the original table my underscore duplicates. Okay, so here select asterisk from my underscore duplicates, that is original table you can put and you can check that is the extra records are gone. Okay, and suppose out of these three fields, only EMP underscore ID would have been repeated. Suppose under EMP underscore ID, only, no, suppose under EMP underscore ID, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Previously, we had 1, 1, then 2, 2, then 3, 3. But suppose EMP underscore ID column was a unique column. That is, in each and every row under EMP underscore ID, we had unique values 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6 in each row. But EMP underscore name and EMP underscore age, they suffered from the repetition of records. Then in case of partition by, what would have been my columns? Then in case of partition by, because partition by will partition by and group only those fields which have got repeating values consecutively with respect to the previous rows. Now EMP underscore ID, in that scenario, I would have definitely excluded, because EMP underscore ID in that scenario had unique values, no repetition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no repetition. But repetition occurred with respect to which two fields? EMP underscore name and EMP underscore age. So in that scenario, under inside this over function, alongside with this partition by, I definitely would have kept partition by. Without that, it's not possible to identify the duplicate things. I would have excluded EMP underscore ID, and I would have kept these EMP underscore name and EMP underscore age as included. Okay. So in case of partition by, that is alongside with partition by, I would have excluded emp underscore id since it was a unique column having no repetition, and I would have definitely included emp underscore name and emp underscore age because they would have had the repeating values. Okay. So that's it for this class, my dear friends. If you've liked this video, then kindly hit the like, share, and subscribe button and press the bell icon for notifications. It really helps my channel and motivates me to come up further with more engaging videos. So that's it for this class. Thank you.